All right, so you shared some really interesting research with me about sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, this Chinese military sleep method.
Uh-huh.
And it's designed to help soldiers,
Right.
get to sleep quickly, even in really intense situations.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
It really emphasizes muscle relaxation and visualization techniques.
Okay.
Almost like, the battlefield power nap, I guess.
Yeah, like a 2-minute sleep hack.
Exactly.
But, it makes you wonder, if sleep is so easily hackable, then why is it so essential in the first place?
Right.
Like, why even bother with 8 hours if we can supposedly trick our body
Yeah.
into feeling rested in just 2 minutes?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
To really understand just how necessary sleep is,
Yeah.
we need to go beyond these, simple relaxation techniques
All right.
and look into some of the groundbreaking biological research that's been done on sleep.
Okay, so let's get nerdy about sleep then.
All right.
What have we got?
Well, let's start with some rather unsettling experiments. Done on rats.
Uh-huh.
They were kept awake for prolonged periods of time on a spinning disc.
Okay.
And if they stopped moving for even a second, they would be dunked in water
Oh, wow.
to force them to stay awake.
Like a water wheel of doom?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awful.
Yeah. And the results were pretty grim, I have to say.
Okay.
All the sleep-deprived rats died within 2 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
And they died from infections, primarily,
Oh, where?
which suggests that their immune systems were severely compromised.
So sleep deprivation is literally life-threatening.
It seems so, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, in a follow-up study, they actually tried to counteract the physical effects,
Okay.
like temperature regulation, antibiotics, controlled nutrition,
Really?
removing all these other factors,
Wow.
except for the sleep deprivation itself.
So it was like, okay, we'll pamper you, but no sleeping allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But even with all of those interventions, the rats still died.
Oh my gosh.
Just a bit slower, this time around 32 days. So sleep, it seems, is non-negotiable for survival.
That makes all those sleep when you're dead entrepreneurs seem a bit misguided.
A little bit, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Although there are rare cases of people who naturally thrive on less sleep.
Okay.
For the vast majority of us,
Yeah.
consistently shortchanging our sleep could have serious long-term consequences.
That's a great point. And speaking of pushing limits to the extreme,
Uh-huh.
do you remember that story of Randy Gardner?
Oh, yeah. The guy who stayed awake for 11 days.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
what does that tell us?
Well, it's fascinating,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not a blueprint for healthy living.
Right.
Gardner suffered progressively worsening symptoms over those 11 days.
Like, well,
Mood swings, hallucinations,
really?
inability to focus.
Wow.
Essentially, his brain is becoming toxic without those cleansing benefits of sleep.
And this brings us to that fascinating discovery of the brain's glymphatic system, right?
Nice.
Like the brain's cleaning crew.
Yeah, so for decades, scientists were struggling to pinpoint why sleep was so essential.
Yeah.
Then in 2013, researchers found that during sleep, our brains essentially activate a waste removal system.
It's like a nightly brainwashing.
Yeah, think of it like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so brain cells actually shrink slightly during sleep,
Okay.
allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flow in
Uh-huh.
and wash away all those waste products.
So it's like a power wash for your brain.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Every single night.
Wow. So our brains need downtime for this essential cleaning crew to do its job.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of trash are we talking about here?
Well, it's essentially metabolic byproducts,
Okay.
just the waste that's generated as our brain cells work.
Uh-huh.
But one of the key culprits is a protein called beta amyloid.
Okay.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Lay it on me.
So beta amyloid
Yeah.
is the same protein
Okay.
that builds up in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
So while more research is needed, this raises a crucial question.
What's that?
Could chronic sleep deprivation contribute to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's?
That's a sobering thought.
It is.
So if we're constantly stimping on sleep, are we putting our brains at risk?
It's certainly a possibility worth considering.
Wow.
And while we can't definitively say that lack of sleep causes Alzheimer's,
Right.
the evidence strongly suggests that getting enough sleep is crucial for long-term brain health.
This kind of puts a whole new spin on that Chinese military sleep method.
Yeah.
It seems like it's more about falling asleep faster,
Right.
but it doesn't replace those crucial hours of brain cleaning time.
You got it.
Right.
While relaxation techniques can be helpful,
Okay.
they just can't replace the deep restorative sleep that our brains need
Uh-huh.
to clear out those toxins
Okay.
and function optimally.
So while the military method might help you nod off quicker,
Yes,
it's not a license to skip out on those essential 8 hours.
exactly. We've learned that sleep isn't just about feeling rested.
Right.
It's about survival
Wow.
and maintaining a healthy brain.
Uh-huh.
It's a biological necessity,
Yeah.
not a luxury we can afford to skimp on.
I love that quote. It's a biological necessity
Yeah,
and not a luxury we can afford to skimp on.
got it.
Powerful stuff.
It's true.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that sleep is essential,
Yeah.
not just for feeling rested, but for our brains to function properly.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the quantity of sleep we get.
No, it's not.
It's also about the quality
It's about the quality.
of sleep.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of sleep stages comes in.
Oh, okay.
So throughout the night, our brains actually cycle through these distinct phases,
Okay.
each with unique characteristics.
So beyond just being asleep,
Yeah,
there's a whole choreography happening
there is.
in our brains.
Precisely think of it like a carefully orchestrated play
Okay.
in 4 acts.
Okay, 4 acts. I like it.
Yeah. So the first 3 acts are what we call non-rapid eye movement sleep,
Okay.
or NREM for short.
Okay, NREM got it.
Right. So Act 1, NREM Stage 1
Okay.
is like the opening scene,
Uh-huh.
that transitional phase between wakefulness and sleep.
Okay.
Your muscles relax, your heart rate slows,
Okay.
brain waves start to become more rhythmic.
All right.
It's that light sleep where you might jerk awake suddenly.
Oh, yeah, like that falling asleep in class jerk.
Exactly.
In there.
Then comes Act 2, NREM Stage 2,
Okay.
where you actually spend the majority of your sleep.
Okay.
Brain waves continue to slow.
Uh-huh.
You're less aware of your surroundings.
Okay.
And this is where memory consolidation really kicks into high gear.
So stage 2 is where our brains are like filing away
Yeah.
all the day's events.
Yeah, exactly. Transferring experiences from short-term
Wow.
to long-term storage.
That's pretty crucial.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then we reach Act 3, NREM Stage 3.
Okay.
This is the deep sleep zone.
Okay.
This is where the real magic happens.
Okay.
Your body repairs tissues, it builds muscle and bone,
Wow.
strengthens the immune system.
Okay.
Waking someone up during this stage is near impossible.
It's like that could sleep through a hurricane kind of sleep.
Exactly.
Wow.
And finally, we arrive at Act 4,
Act 4.
REM sleep,
Okay.
or rapid eye movement sleep,
Okay.
which usually starts about 90 minutes after you fall asleep.
This is the dream zone.
This is the dream zone.
Okay.
Yeah, brain activity increases, eyes dart around,
Yeah.
muscles become temporarily paralyzed.
Wait, paralyzed?
Yeah, it's a safety mechanism
Okay.
to prevent you from physically acting out your dreams.
That makes sense.
Imagine the chaos if we all started running marathons in our sleep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good point.
So we're immobilized,
Yeah.
our brains are buzzing, and we're having these bizarre, illogical dreams.
Yeah. So what's the purpose of all this REM madness?
Well, it's still being researched,
Okay.
but REM sleep likely plays a crucial role
Oh.
in emotional process,
Uh-huh.
memory consolidation,
Okay.
and learning.
Wow.
Some theories even suggest that dreams help us process emotions and rehearse for real-life situations.
So our brains are working through things,
They are.
even when we're lost in dreamland.
Precisely.
That's wild.
So we cycle through these 4 acts,
Uh-huh.
NREM stages 1, 2, and 3,
Yep.
followed by REM,
Okay.
multiple times throughout the night.
So how long does each cycle last?
Each cycle takes roughly 90 to 110 minutes,
Okay.
with deep sleep dominating earlier in the night,
Okay.
and REM sleep becoming more prominent later on.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just about hitting a certain number of hours,
All right.
it's about experiencing these different stages.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what happens when those sleep cycles get disrupted?
Well, we already saw the extreme case with those sleep-deprived rats.
Right.
But even in humans,
Yeah.
chronic sleep loss,
Yeah.
whether it's from, late nights,
Mhm.
early mornings,
Mm.
or sleep disorders, can have a cascade of negative effects.
Okay. Time for some real talk.
Right.
What are the consequences for those of us who are chronically sleep deprived?
Yeah.
We're not all going to drop dead like those rats, are we?
Well, no.
Okay, good.
But it's not a free pass either.
Okay.
Imagine your brain trying to function without its nightly cleaning and filing system.
Uh-oh.
You'll likely experience decreased alertness,
Okay.
impaired memory, difficulty making decisions,
Mm-hmm.
increased irritability,
Yeah.
your immune system weakens,
Uh-huh.
you're at a higher risk of accidents.
So basically we become like walking, talking zombies.
Not exactly, but
To well-rested, high-functioning humans.
that's a great question.
Yeah.
Now we understand why sleep is so vital and how it works.
Right.
Let's shift our focus to optimizing your sleep habits.
Okay, let's do it.
There are many practical steps you can take
All right.
to improve both the quantity and quality of your sleep.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into sleep.
We have.
From those unsettling rat experiments to
Yeah.
the brain's fascinating cleaning crew.
Uh-huh.
But now let's shift gears and talk about how we can actually improve our own sleep.
Yes, let's get practical.
Right, like knowing is only half the battle.
Exactly.
So where do we begin? What are the low-hanging fruit,
Yeah.
the sleep hacks that we can implement, like tonight?
Well, the foundation of any good sleep routine is consistency.
Okay.
We need to help our bodies establish a natural sleep-wake rhythm,
Right.
that internal clock known as the circadian rhythm.
Right, the circadian rhythm, our body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
Yeah.
Heard about it,
Yeah.
but never really understood its importance.
It's essentially your internal conductor,
Oh.
keeping all your bodily functions in sync.
Uh-huh.
When we have a consistent sleep schedule,
Yeah.
we're giving our conductor clear cues
Okay.
about when to wind down and when to rev up.
So going to bed and waking up at different times every day
Yes.
is like giving our conductor a jumbled score.
Precisely. It throws off the rhythm,
Right.
making it harder to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed.
Okay. I'm starting to see the light, or maybe I should say the darkness.
Yeah.
So how do we set up a sleep schedule that actually works?
We'll choose a bedtime and a wake-up time.
Okay.
That allows for 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Uh-huh.
And stick to it as consistently as possible, even on weekends.
Even on weekends, that's tough.
I know they're tempting,
Yeah, those weekend sleep-ins are pretty glorious.
but try to limit those sleep-ins
Right.
to an hour or two
Okay.
past your usual wake-up time.
Got it.
It'll make Monday mornings less of a shock to the system.
Makes sense. So consistency is key.
Yes.
What else can we do to kind of set the stage for good sleep?
Well, let's talk about your bedroom.
Okay.
It should be your sleep sanctuary,
I like that.
a haven for rest and rejuvenation.
A sleep sanctuary. What are the key elements?
Think dark, cool, and quiet.
Okay.
Darkness signals to your brain that it's time to produce melatonin,
Got it.
the sleep hormone.
Okay, blackout curtains check. What about temperature?
Ideally, your bedroom should be slightly cooler
Okay.
than your normal waking temperature.
Okay.
Around 65 degrees Fahrenheit is a good target.
Interesting. I've always found it easier to fall asleep when it's chilly.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And noise.
Oh, yeah, noise. I'm a light sleeper, so earplugs are a must for me.
Absolutely. Minimizing noise is crucial if earplugs don't work.
Yeah.
Try a white noise machine or a fan to drown out those distracting sounds.
So dark, cool, and quiet, the sleep trifecta.
Exactly.
What about the bed itself?
Yeah, so your mattress and pillows
Mm-hmm.
should provide adequate support and align your spine properly.
Okay.
Experiment with different firmness levels and materials
Right.
to find what works best for you.
Sounds like a good excuse for a mattress shopping spree.
There you go.
Don't forget about light exposure.
Yes, especially blue light
Right.
from electronic devices.
Right. The dreaded blue light.
It can disrupt melatonin production.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but what exactly does it do?
Think of it as a signal to your brain
Okay.
saying, hey, it's daytime, stay alert,
Uh.
even if it's 10 p.m. and you're trying to wind down.
So scrolling through social media before bed
Yes.
is basically a recipe for sleeplessness.
Pretty much the best practice is to avoid screens
Okay.
for at least an hour or two before bed.
Got it.
If you must use electronic devices, use blue light blocking glasses or activate night mode.
No more late night doom scrolling for me. What about food and drinks?
Uh-huh.
Any pre-sleep snacks we should avoid?
It's all about timing and moderation.
Okay.
Avoid heavy meals and sugary snacks
Okay.
close to bedtime, as they can interfere with sleep.
So no late night ice cream binges. Bummer.
Especially sugary snacks. That sugar rush can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Okay.
Caffeine is another culprit.
Right.
It's a stimulant that can linger in your system for hours.
So that afternoon latte might be my sleep saboteur?
Exactly. Pay attention to how different foods and drinks affect your sleep.
Okay.
Some people find a light, healthy snack before bed,
Okay.
like a handful of almonds,
Okay.
can help them sleep better.
Interesting. What about pre-sleep rituals?
Oh, yeah.
Can they help us transition into sleep mode?
Absolutely. The relaxing bedtime routine
Okay.
is a great way to signal to your body and mind
Right?
that it's time to wind down.
I'm picturing a warm bath, a good book, maybe some calming music.
Exactly. Find what works for you
Yeah.
and make it a consistent part of your pre-sleep routine.
Uh-huh.
It could include taking a warm bath, reading a book,
Yep.
listening to calming music, or practicing relaxation techniques like deep breathing or meditation.
So we've got the sleep schedule, the sleep sanctuary, the blue light ban, the caffeine curfew, and the relaxing bedtime ritual. Anything else we should keep in mind?
Don't underestimate the power of exercise.
Okay.
Regular physical activity can significantly improve sleep quality.
Okay.
However, avoid intense workouts
Right.
close to bedtime,
Yeah.
as they can make it harder to fall asleep.
Morning workouts it is, then get that energy boost and set yourself up for better sleep later.
Exactly.
And remember, if you're still struggling with sleep after trying all these tips,
Yeah.
it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
There might be an underlying sleep disorder that needs attention.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the science of sleep, I think the key takeaway is this: prioritize sleep like you prioritize your health.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Create a consistent sleep schedule, optimize your sleep environment, make wise choices about food and drinks, cultivate a relaxing bedtime routine, and get regular exercise.
You got it.
Sleep is not just about feeling rested.
No, it's not.
It's about giving our brains and bodies the time they need to repair, recharge, and function at their best.
Exactly. It's an investment in your present and future well-being.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to make some changes to my sleep routine.
Me too.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
That's all for today's deep dive into the science of sleep. We hope you learned something new and feel empowered to make sleep a priority in your life.